Oregon State University did a study on retirement, and they found that people who retire early die early. So they say healthy adults who retired 1 year past age 65 had an 11% lower risk of death from all causes, even when taking into account demographic, lifestyle, and health issues. Even people who describe themselves as unhealthy were found likely to live longer if they kept working. All right, so this actually backs up previous research as well. Apparently there's been a variety of studies on this, and this one controlled for other factors too. So it's flat out established at this point that the earlier you retire, the more likely you are to die younger. So on the one hand, my initial reaction was this is actually kind of depressing, because doesn't everybody think of like, hey, when I get to a certain age, I just want to, sip a margarita on a beautiful white sand beach with crystal shiny blue water, and you just want to relax and read books and watch movies, and like everybody has the hammock dream where when all this is done, all the noise is over, and I'm done, I retire, I'm going to go do that, and I'll be so happy until I die. Well, it turns out that that's not true, and I think the way that I would describe this is meaning overrides that comfort. Okay? Meaning overrides the comfort. So you might conceptualize that idea, and it sounds so appealing because you'd be so comfortable, and you'd seemingly be so happy, but no, when you find something that you do for a living, or you find something that you do with your friends, and in your regular life, that's something that gives you actual meaning. And you might feel like busy and stressed right now, but if you take away the thing that gives you the meaning, and you just have nothing but endless free time, you actually, not only do you become bored, you probably become kind of nihilistic, and you think like, what am I, just going to rot away here until I die? So the idea of retirement is much better in theory in your mind than in practice. So when people retire early, they sit around and then they die earlier. And it's a scientific fact, because you don't feel like what reason is there for you to keep going? Like, what is there? Okay, so I'm on a beach. And then? Like, that isn't as good in empirical reality as it is in theory when you think about it. And, you might be stressed right now, you might be overworked, and you might think that's the way to go. But then when you get there, you go, no, I'd rather be working. And you want to go back into that. So people who stay working, they just live longer because every day they get up and they know they got stuff to do, and they know they have to get X, Y, and Z done. And there's an underlying passion and a drive there. So meaning overrides comfort. And honestly, I think the takeaway from this is there's a middle ground. So it's not like, I'm going to work every day until I fucking croak and that's it. No, because perhaps that's not really appealing either. In theory, that's horrific, right? So what you should do is, the older you get, assuming you have the financial ability to do this, and we should all fight so people can have that financial ability for fair wages and vacation time, so on and so forth. But the older you get, the more you should take more extended vacations. So you take more time off as you get older, and you can relax more, but then you know that you have something to go back to. That's an important thing, man. Have you ever realized that when you have to go back to doing work, or you have to go back to doing something, that your time off, your downtime is much more precious. So you're more interested. If you're watching a TV show, you're more into it. Or if you're reading a book, you're more into it. Or the time is precious. But if you take away the thing that you have to go back to, and it's just nothing but endless free time, you find yourself being more bored and wasting more time, right? And you're not as into that TV show, and you're not as into that book. So apparently there's something to this idea that, you need planned downtime, but you have to go back to something. It can't just be endless retirement, because when you retire, you die younger. And I think that there's probably not only a physical aspect to that, a psychological aspect to that, and it's linked up. And at first, the results of this depressed me, because I'm like, okay, then I'm never going to retire and just be happy. I'll die young if I do that. Why would that be the case? No, the answer is the middle ground. The answer is, as you get older, you take more time off, and you come back to doing that thing that you do for work, or that hobby that you love, or whatever it is that takes up most of your time.